Yes, sir. Father. I love you. Yes, sir.
You're trying to talk, right?
Sir?
Did you know how to tell it, right?
Hey, I'm waiting for you, Father. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Y'all may be seated. Look like a real family, real close. We have any visitors? All of y'all visiting. What we usually do, we have a mic for you to ask questions. I'll say a few things and open the floor up for you to find out what you want to know. So thank you for coming. Those of you that did come from here and other different places, thank you for being here. I hope you will not regret it. This is a wonderful day for us. It truly is. We're living out prophecy or history. Future history, we're living it. You know, not in the past. What has happened in the past has happened. And the greatest thing that has happened was the raising up of Elijah. In the book it calls the prophet, what is it, the book of Daniel? I think it's the book of Daniel. Yes, it talks about Elijah. Oh, somebody got me a watch up here. I won't be talking too long. I don't know whose it is, but it's pretty. Somebody left it up here? Oh, okay. We'll make sure nobody takes it. I thought today there's so many things that we could talk about. And since most of you all here already know what's going on and know me, so I thought I'd just go over a little history to justify today. The problem that still has to be solved is that the black man here in North America, that is to be new, has to be made to know that that is actually what is taking place and for him to actually start the process of being that. That's the problem. Are you all sitting a little too close? I mean, you got enough elbow room? Okay. I got a lot of room up here. Well, I would like to show or paint a picture as to how this is a plan. And it's not something that someone just jumped up with just because they were born in this time. So if it is a plan, it means you fit in it because you were born at this time. The plan would be, it wouldn't be no good if the plan didn't entail you. So our problem is knowing what the plan is and where we fit in it. Most of us don't know. You think it's something that somebody else planned and you just happen to be standing by watching it. That's not the case. Since we knew who the new people were to be, and I hope you really listen, follow me. Since we knew, when I say we, this means Allah, the ones that were ruling the planet before you were born, knew when you were going to be born. That's why they told Abraham, your seed. They didn't tell Abraham. However, your seed will go into a strange land under a stranger, and they will suffer there because of the stranger for 400 years. In the 430th year, I will come. Not I will send somebody. Not that I will raise somebody up. I will come. So the plan, you can see just by that, and Abraham, he's over. It's been more than 2,000 years. I think the last one we talked about is Jesus, and he was 2,000 years old. So I don't think nobody's in here that's physically 2,000. So it just lets you know it's a plan. Now, in order to get or be successful in the plan, we know how long and what must take place to attract the thinking of a dead man. I hope you listen. Right at the ending of the time for wrong, we raised up one of us named Elijah. That's in the book of Daniel. It reads in the book, it says, behold, just before that great and dreadful day, I will send you Elijah, And he will attract you or turn the hearts of the fathers back to the children, or vice versa, children back to the fathers. That's what he is to do. That's all. Then after that, I will come. Not that I will send no minister. There will be no one in between me and Elijah greater than us. I will come. And I will bring you out with great substance. Not Elijah. God himself is to do that. Not a minister. God himself is to do that. Not a reverend. God himself is to do that. Not the Catholic religion. God himself is to do that. Why? Because no one knows what God knows. No one has the power that God has. No one has the love for the idea of making a new more than God does. So it's impossible for anyone else to be a savior to you other than God himself. So if anyone shows up at this particular time, regardless to how handsome they are, how beautiful she is, how well he or she speaks, how magnetism they are, if they're not doing this, it's not the one. Now, we can see this mathematically because this is how we did it, mathematically. That's how we say, well, we're going to do this, and we don't see no failure in it. Because the math is telling us this is failure proof. Nobody can stand up and say, well, I know this is going to work because I said so. That don't mean nothing. You know, like you will stand before the preacher, go to get married. You know, do you take so and so and so, you know, for goodness and wealth and health and sickness and so how you do. 10 months later, you're getting a divorce because you didn't marry on the math. You married because you felt like, I think I can change her. And she said, oh, goodness, I think I can change him. But you don't say it to each other. You wait till you get married and then you spring your plan. And it bounces back on you. Then you say, look, I can't take this. I can't take it, I got to go. You see? In essence, that's what's happening with us as far as religion. I went out this morning, just rode around. Sister National is from here. She was born here in Columbia, South Carolina. And since we allowed that to take place, because I was in Winsboro, peeping down, make sure she was born at the right time, South Carolina. You know, Winsboro is about 30 miles up the road or something like that. However, I rode around and looked, the place is dead. But every church I went by, the parking lots was filled. I said, man, I should go in there. They probably ran me out. However, that's what our people have married. You have married an idea that you should divorce because it has divorced you. But you're like a wife that won't leave. You're like a jealous husband that just keeps around and creeping and stalking her. You know, you just won't leave. And you know goodness well, the preacher's not telling the truth. You know goodness well what he's saying, he don't understand it. You already know that. Because if he did, you would have a better understanding. However, you go to church to get your fix. You know, they start playing in the band, and the foot gets to tapping, you know. You're getting your fix. But you're not getting no truth. So we figured that out some time ago. I remember the messenger saying, you know, the black man, especially here in North America, is the best follower you can have. Can't find a better follower. You know why? Because he's the dumbest man on the planet. No intelligent man follows nothing. Once you go, you get a little intelligence and you start to go investigate things, you always investigate it in this way. How is it going to help me to be better? How can it develop me any stronger? Not, well, I like that person, so I'm going to follow them. I like that idea, so I will follow that idea. Really, you can't follow an idea. One can be presented to you, then the person that's presenting it will present it in such a way that you follow the person because you think he knows what he's doing. You don't know, but you think he does or she does, so you follow him. After you come into knowledge, you can't do that no longer. Just for an example, if you are born of parents, not a parent, but parents, and the proper love is developed from the way that they are raising you or rearing you, the way they teach you and treat you, it's a natural love that comes up that you would kill, even die to preserve that. But guess what you do? After you get to be a certain age, you leave. Don't you? After all that love, I mean, you still love them, but you just can't stay there. Because staying there means that you now are stagnant. You can't grow. You can't take advantage of life. You can't take advantage of nothing that comes to you that's going to cause you to be inspired to do anything because you're in someone else's boundary. So all that love that you have rightfully earned or received, you got to still turn your back and leave. It's going to be the same thing with this Christianity. Once you understand that you are in another man's boundary, once you see it and you understand it, and there's an opportunity for you to leave, to go to a boundless situation or area, what do you think you're going to do? You think you're going to stay there? Just to let you know you won't stay. When you get to be about 9 or 10 years old, and you got a good pair of shoes you've been wearing for a long time, every time somebody see you in it, they just keep complimenting you about those shoes. But they're getting tighter and tighter. After a while, you look at them boys in the closet and say, they look good, but I got to get me another pair of shoes. In other words, the choice has been removed. By nature, it's been removed because the shoe won't grow. However, the design of your thinking or your mind or of the body is growing. So now we have came into a situation that has been developed by the enemy of truth. We allowed him to do it. And the situation now is so dire, it's got everybody in such dire straits. Something's got to happen. Something's got to happen. The shoe is getting too tight. You think about it. Now, this is in the plan. They say, well, God, speaking with the angels now, our angels speaking with God. Well, God, suppose they don't accept you. I'll just wait till the shoe gets tight. Well, you sure that's going to happen? Oh, absolutely. Well, do we have any proof of that? Oh, yes, sir. You know, we promised. I hope you listen. We promised the man of sin. We already know you're a sinful man. That's the way we made you. We know it because we made you. And then we gave you a promise. We're going to let you operate as you see fit for 6 days. And as time passed, the promise hadn't started to be kept. So after a while, they started to say, God, look, didn't you promise them people they could rule? So yeah, I did, didn't I? Because at first, now listen to this. At first, when they were brought back amongst us from the island of Patmos or Pelon, which you read in your Bible, they were causing so much trouble, mischief, and bloodshed amongst the righteous that the righteous said, well, who are these people? They got to go. And the guy said, well, we can't kill them because I did promise them. We'll just run them out from amongst us. Follow me now. The us were still righteous. We didn't succumb to their nature. We were still righteous. However, the power of the promise made even the righteous have to come under the law of the promise. So for a short period of time, we ran them out from amongst us. They sit in the hills and caves of Europe, where they lost all knowledge of civilization. They lost everything. They went absolutely to zero. They even lost the language. We took everything from them except the language, but they lost that. So God said, well, I did say that they could rule. So let me go get them so they can begin their tour of rulership. Keep in mind, this is a plan. Before we made them, we already knew this was going to happen. And look where you are, too, at the same time. We went and got them, sent a man named, what was his name? Musa. Well, you ought to know this better than me. Musa means you saw. So he went on up and he found out, my God, I don't know if these people should rule or not. They're extremely filthy. And that's what you become when you have no knowledge. So we don't have to go back that far. Just look at us today. No knowledge. Deader than a doornail. However, the principle here is zero. Because when we made them, we also gave them a bit of teaching. So they were not at zero. So in order for you to be who you are by nature with no interference, with no outside attraction, everything that you do, everything that you are absolutely comes from you only. That can only happen when you go to zero. So now they're ripe. They're ready to rule. So we send Musa all up, and he was to teach them some of the knowledge. Or was it Yaqub? Yaqub was their father, right? He didn't teach them all of the knowledge, just some. You know, just to prick their conscience. Like what I'm doing with y'all. If you're going to be, or let me put it this way, if you're the new people, in Revelation 21 it speaks about, he makes all things new. You follow me? He makes all things new. So now, this means that if you, black man in North America, is going to be the all-new man, you got to come back or go back or be brought back zero. Is that right? Yes, sir. All right. Then after that, we brought the man out of the hills and caves of Europe, and then he began his task. And today, he has completed the promise that we gave him, because in his ultimate zenith of his being, he trapped up the very people that created the planet and the universe, which is you. Everything that you do, everything. As I was riding through the community this morning, I was looking at the people, and I was looking at the homes, and I was looking at the signs that's here. I seen a sign in the neighborhood that said, no semis parking here. So I said, well, it came in my mind, well, it must be some brothers that drive tractor trailers around, because it's in a black neighborhood. And they bring it home and park it. But the houses are so close, they would block somebody's driveway up. So they got to put a sign telling you what to do, because you had zero. You know, you couldn't figure that out. So they put a sign up. So now if you don't do it, they give you a fine and still make you move it, because you had zero. But that's a good place to be. everything that I saw bore witness why the black man is not with me yet. Because everything he thinks he needs, white people provide it. Even this room. We don't own this hotel. And it appears as though you won't come with me so we can buy one, purchase one, build one. We don't want to steal one, but we must have one. So you're very comfortable and have been made that way to be comfortable with nothing. Because nothing likes nothing. And what is zero? Nothing. So it is a perfect opportunity for me to show up. So I planned perfectly. Now the planners are the two gods. The original. Not first. We don't refer to Allah first, the first one. The original one that got everything started as we know what life is to be, period. Period. Regardless to what planet, star system, galaxy, wherever in the universe. There was one that got it started. He's the original, like you are the original man. Would you agree? Yes, sir. Everything that you are experiencing, that's from your husband, your wives, your children, your education, so you call it, it's coming from him. However, he done trapped himself up. He trapped himself up. You know why? Because the natural rhythm of creation always is expanding. Always. So when you reach the limit of your ability to control or manage or govern your particular area in this universe, then it means you got to go. And if you won't go, then the growth forces you out. You know, I watch my wife sometimes. She'd be sitting clipping her toenails. I said, well, they look pretty short to me. She said, no, I got to keep them short. I said, why? Keep them getting around in my nylons. Oh, glad I'm wearing no nylons. What I'm saying is they keep growing. So she lets them to grow, and they just keep growing. You ever go to a grocery store, and the teller there that's taking your money, you know, you're buying something, and the fingernails are so long, you wonder how they're hitting the buttons? If you just keep doing that, after a while, she's not going to be able to hit the right one. She's going to make a mistake. What I'm saying is, in order to be successful perpetually, you have to be in a position where you can constantly grow. Black man, you're at zero, you're not growing, and if we would allow this man of sin to remain in power, the only thing he could do with you is exterminate you. You are a big nothing. You're a big drag. You are a consumer. You're like a cancer. Eating everything that he thinks he's getting. When he look back, he said, darn, I got to take care of them people. So he makes $10, but he got to spend 20 to take care of you, so he got to go borrow something. Think about it. Because you at zero, and because he cannot grow no more than what he has grown, he's reached his zenith. Jesus can't, you know, this thing about Jesus and God, it's reached it too. Because the current situation has grown beyond the boundaries of the possibilities of Jesus and God as the way it is explained to you. I hope you listen. In other words, I'm talking nature. I'm talking God. I'm talking Allah. I'm talking right. I'm talking me. I'm talking the perfect idea. Talking it, however, I'm also doing it. Now, you all got to get up from zero. Got to. Got to get up from zero. If not, I don't have to go and do anything to you. It's already being done to you. if you're going to be with me, I have to stop it from being done to you. The food you eat is killing you. The air you're breathing, killing you. What you call knowledge that you're gaining, killing you. There is no harmony, no unity. That automatically spells death. If your heart and lungs don't work together, what you going to do? And when your heart gets to palpitating, going the wrong kind of way, whatnot, you dash down to the doctor, I need a pacemaker. Trying to put it back in sync. Is that right? So it's the same thing with us today. We brought white folks from zero out of the caves. Look what they're doing now in Afghanistan. Out of the caves, out into space. They're no longer concerned about making airplanes. They're studying spacecrafts. Space. Where they found, man, there ain't no limit to this. Before we really go way out in space, let's fix the Hubble up so we can see twice as far. So if we see twice as far as what we've been seeing, or magnified much better, maybe we can see if there's anything harmful out there. So we can prepare for that before we go. But do they have to worry about black people? You want to know how you can tell? Look at the news and see how much you're in it. Look at it. See how many people that's of color they have on the screen concerning the 9/11. Just look at it and see how many people of color that they have in the law-making positions. Just look. So what it's saying that you are not included in this. Like you were not included when they were in zero. They were in the hills and caves of Europe without you. You weren't there. It was only them. However, you had to go and bring them out. Now the table has turned. Now you are in zero. But we're so powerful. We grew up one. He come get you, and we all come out. I will bring you out with great substance. Great substance. Why substance? Because this is what enhances what a man thinks. This is what gives him the foundation to know that he's for real. This is what inspires him to go beyond the limits that they say is set. You got something to bear witness that you can think. Great substance. Substance. And if the substance are great, you never give a person something that's greater than them. Are you listening? Yes. Are you listening, sisters? If it's something you don't understand, the floor will be open. I'll be more than happy. I just be jumping up and down every time somebody asks me a question. I really do. Because if you asked it, you must want to know. Unless you come and say, well, I'm going to go and break the meeting up. I'm going to ask something real dumb. Did you get up and ask Father? Yes. What route did you take to get here? Well, then I have to ask them, what do you mean? They might be talking about what lineage. See, we have to make it clear. In the beginning, it sounds real dumb. Other than that, it's written, ask. You shall receive. So today you have an opportunity to ask. And after asking, you can knock. By saying, well, how can I be a part? That's knocking. You can come on in. Right now, you should be seeking so you can find it. Right? Yeah. It's a good time since we're at zero. I say we because there's more of you than me, although I am the all in all. Well, great substance. Well, Father, what would that be? I don't know. I never had none. Great substance is the ability to have what you want in a reasonable amount of time. The ability to get what you want in a reasonable amount of time. That's a great substance. If it's a little substance, maybe it's a penny. You can get that instantly. You can ask somebody else to get it to you. Now, if you ask them for $20, they might hesitate. That's greater. They're going to start asking you questions about, most of them tell you, I ain't got it. I'm going back to business. I'm painting a picture here to show you what's great. It didn't say, well, I'm going to bring you out with substance. Great substance. So you need some land. So when you plant your feet down, you know it's not going to rebel against you because somebody else is poisoning it or it don't belong to you. You need proper food. Not what somebody else has grown and give to you and say this is good for you. It may be good for them. It ain't good for you. Remember now, keep in mind, you're at zero. You need some proper civilized clothing, which we don't have. We're wearing somebody else's clothes. And to show you that we're at zero, after the messenger, it has been a downward spiral. During the time of this Elijah that we raised up, to make the children look at the fathers and start to say, yes, I think I do want that. And the fathers look at the children and say, well, I think they're pretty right. We'll start to deal with them. And right at that time, we snatched it. Boom. Took Elijah away. Then all of the would-be and hypocritical people that came into being. Now, if it wasn't to be done that way, it wouldn't be no such thing as a harvest. Wouldn't be done that way. This harvest is a harvest of souls or entities to see which one is the best. Who is the most suited to be a part of this new? So we're not going to come in to ask you. We just put you in a situation, see how you act. You see? Great substance. Then after that, the person that actually weeded the ones out and left the best, put it in a storehouse, so to say, and just left it there. And the lesson reads that it became cankered and rusty. Some of them become poisoned and rusty. And then the minister that we allowed to be a helper to Elijah, we allowed him to come and speak in the absence of Elijah or between Elijah and the God. In other words, it was like a big sister talking to the children before daddy came home. Because now mama has went to be with daddy. The children are still here. So the big sister will talk to the children while both parents are absent. So when the sister runs out of all the knowledge and all the tricks that she had, there is no one there. No one. Represents zero. And what the sister has done has brought you. You are absolutely now in zero. You know, there used to be a dessert that everybody in the family loved to eat. And when the mother and the father were absent, the sister started making it. In the beginning, she made it just the same way Mom and Daddy made it. It was good. After a while, the sister started thinking, well, look, they're always giving Mom and Daddy credit for this. I'm going to change it and put my touch to it. Put me in. So if they say anything, they're going to say, thank you, sister, that was wonderful, beautiful. However, the sister forgot. You can't improve on perfect. You can't fix something that ain't broke. You see? So she went about actually putting her touch to it. After a while, the children started saying, well, what are you doing to this? Instead of having it once or twice a week, now they only want it about once a month. Because it's just despicable. However, they don't have the power. They think they don't have the power to do anything about it because everybody accepted the sister in the beginning. So nobody wants to stand up and say, well, I'm the troublemaker or be labeled that. So instead of making the pie themselves or making the sister make the pie right. They just stopped going to dinner. Just stopped. And every time they thought about it, what their mother and father had done, and it looked as though they would never get back to it, they just said, well, forget it. Really in zero now. Now the sister don't have no more children because the children now are grown. And the other children, adopted children now that's coming to the sister, don't know anything about mom and daddy and what they face. They only know about the sister. However, they see the sister the same way they see themselves. Hip-hop ain't nothing. So they invite the sister to hip-hop summits. Rap sessions. Invite them into the business to be a sponsor. You know, the real brothers and sisters is gone. Now they got a nasty taste in their mouth from what they were reared up on. So they don't want anything to do with it now. If anything is to take place, let he or she that is coming do it first. Let me see the success of it first. And then maybe, just maybe, I might return. It's something in our prayer says, for surely Allah, thou art praised and magnified. I turn myself to thee, Allah. Turn. And the only people that can turn are the people that is of the nature that was going right at first. That don't mean white folks. They can't turn to this. They never have been with it. It means you, black man, especially one that came with Elijah. You're going to have to turn. You're going to have to turn because you had zero. You got all the numbers in your head. However, you don't have the power to bring nothing out but zero. You can't even attract your own child or grandchild because your sister messed everything up, made everything distasteful. Do we know who I'm talking about? Yes. However, Dad is home. It's not a big thing when it comes to that. Daddy steps in and says, well, what's happening here? And all the children look up that's with him and say, well, who is this man? He better get that stepping before I hurt him. I tell the sister, I say, you better talk to the children. He says, what I'll do, I won't say nothing for you or against you. I won't say nothing. Then this way, they will think you are nothing, and they won't do something stupid to find out you're really something. You listening? Yes, we are living this, living it as I speak to you. Living it. Can you imagine the minister speaking to this amount of people in a little place like this? He'd do that in his dreams. But it's not even a reality anymore. But God himself, the Father, that you're supposed to be turned to. Look. They got a beauty show going next door. Beauty. What is it, Beauty Before the Beast? I'm the beauty maker. So what beauty could they be possibly talking about? You see? We're at zero. And yesterday I was north of the line speaking. North Carolina. Today I'm south of it. In South Carolina. It's supposed to be some very intelligent people here that came from the Supreme Being himself. You're his seed. You're his seed. So the truth that is being presented today and just being put in the atmosphere, period, it is supposed to be, should be, must be very conducive to your being, whether you see me or not, whether anyone speaks to you or not. You're supposed to be able to feel it. So much so you can't hardly explain what you're experiencing to nobody else. Because first thing comes to your mind, they ain't going to believe me. You might want to try it anyhow. They might be doing the same thing. Because where there's two or more, really where there's one, I'm there. But there's nobody to bear witness. So it's better to have two. Are you all following me?
Yes, sir.
Because you're at zero. Now the great substance that I'm bringing you out with, those that are with me, and those that are not, you're going to be the footstools of those that are. Now you might say, well, that's a hell of a position. I'll never be no footstool for nobody. You're already a footstool for white folks. You're already there. You know, they don't go to you no more with the whip and make you do something. They just write it in the law. Then you go question, well, why do you do that? Well, it's just a system. I mean, why get on me? I mean, you could have voted. It was just a system. You know, there's a president in office now. It looked like the system didn't work too good, but he got in. See, but you get on him, that was the system. What's wrong with us making a system? Don't you know, listen carefully, don't you know the most feared thing by the enemy of truth is the opposite of him? The man of righteousness. You know why? Because righteousness has an inward power of its own that no other power can deal with if it's not in accord with it. You don't think so, huh? Some of you sitting here right now want to go to the bathroom. Let me stay here 2 or 3 hours. I'm going to see you walking through the door. Because it's true, you got to have relief. And the power of truth is going to make you get up. I don't care how good this is sounding. You say, I can't leave it now, it's sounding good. Okay? I'll be right back. We had a brother speaking from the rostrum. He was speaking, and it hit him. He talked for a little while. He said, well, look, hold that thought. He had to go. So the power of truth, there's no other power that exists, can't do anything with it. So much so, the power of technology depends upon truth. If it's just an outright lie, if I say, well, look, see that light? That's the sun. I see everybody getting unbelievers. Well, Father done lost it. Because, you know, that's outright lie. However, if I'm talking about it in the sense of light itself and where it originates and how it takes place and put in just a little lie, it's hard to detect where I lied. So the power of technology still depends upon the power of truth. The best liar is the man that used 99% truth. And by the time you figure that 1%, he got you. We don't have no system because you're at zero. Your system made sure of that. Thousands of men came out to stop the killing. And the killing didn't stop. Millions came to the steps of the white folks. Nothing happened. Still at zero. In other words, the process has brought it to a situation where you cannot deny my existence. You can't say, well, we don't need him. You can say it. But truth won't back you up with that. Are you following me? Yes. Well, if you get anything out of this today, what I would like for you to get is that everything is planned. And it's planned by the author of truth. And this author has the power to make sure his plan is, regardless of what you may think or say. Because you're not the planner. You fit in the plan, however, you're not the planner. So if we promised a man that we took to zero, allowed him to go to zero, then took him out from zero and allowed him to go into space, and from his origin we know the man is not right, what do you think is going to happen with y'all? And look at this. You listening? want you to look at this now. Even at zero, just to show you the love that we have for you. Even at zero. If you go to an African country, not into an African city, even if you go there, some places you go, it's like, man, these people they ain't got it together. There's too many little things they miss. They're not detailed. Even at zero, you live in the most detailed country on the planet. So detailed and so much information, like you just overlook it. You learn how to get, if you want to learn how to get something, go to the computer or go to the internet and just pull it up. You know, Brother National Secretary Abbas Rasul is over in Africa, and he has a worldwide cell phone. So he'll call me, leave word for me to call him back. Certain parts of Africa, when I call him, it's busy, for hours. So he got to call me back. I said, well, we've been calling, the line's busy. Well, they only have a few incoming lines in. So everybody's using it. You understand what I'm saying? They got a country, they got land. But they don't have the technology that you at zero have. And so they're asking us, even at zero, we just been spoiled at zero. You know, we get the Lexus from Japan. We get the BMW from London or England. You know, we get the Mercedes from Germany. We just get everything. Don't own nothing. I mean, you got all this at zero. So, now, since we're about to come up out of zero, we're not going to just throw all this away. Not right away. However, the man that has brought it about won't be able to manage it because he didn't grow. When you and I been here at zero, it'll be like you wake up, oh, where am I at? Oh, man, let's take advantage of this. And he's going to be there offering you all these deals. The messenger put it this way. You're going to go and make a deal with him, paying in one hand, he's going to give you the money back in the other hand. That's how confused he's going to be. But guess who's going to do that with? He can't do it with a person that's zero. He has to be one of us. How I know? Because we're already doing it. Well, you know, we got a school for $1. Then we told him, look, we need some air conditioning. Oh, you knew it was bad when you gave it to us. Oh, okay, Mr. Solomon. That time he was calling me Solomon. They gave great big units. Now we had to go downtown to the people at the electric company and say, look, we need to have this hooked up. They said, well, you don't have enough wattage going into the building. And for that big, we either have to run it overhead or run it under the ground. That's going to be rather expensive. I said, well, we got men who can do that. So, yeah. Will you furnish the wiring and everything and have it done? Well, we don't know. We have to meet on that. So, well, yes, we'll do it. Well, how much is it going to cost us? Well, it's going to be something like $3,000. But we're going to give you a write-off for 10. 7 brothers. You know, one hand and another. You know, gave right back. You see? But if we were doing nothing at zero, it would be nothing to give anything to. It wouldn't be nobody. They don't give you nothing but a chance to let you know you're in nothing. The lottery. And then when you win, they give it to you in dribs and drabs because they know you don't know what to do with it. We can bear witness to that. Look at Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan. All the money they got. White folks know they do not know what to do with it. If they did, the first thing that would come into their mind, my people is in hell. Let me see if there is it a God? Is it a God somewhere? Is it possible? Should I seek so I can find? They need to have something. There's got to be some kind of plan where $1 can be more than $1. Got to be, if there's a God. I mean, Bill Cosby gave $20 million to a black college with the purpose of helping his people. He thought. which one came out and bore witness he did the right thing. You see, $20 million. Now, the Arabs wants to give us $5 million. Let me get back in the light. Wants to give us, you listening? They said, well, when they first told us, they was a little slow. I said, Brother Secretary, look like they jerking us around. They said, well, Father, I've done all I can do. The rest of it I got to leave in your hands. I said, well, in good hands. So they called back up the other day and said, well, are y'all going to come get this money? And I said, well, you find out what's entailed. Have we got to give something first, and then they're going to give it? Or supposed to give it after they... Yes, sir, Father. Oh, really? So we got an intercessor. He says, Brother Boss, it's there. It's waiting on you. It's there. If y'all want it. We said, well, we ain't putting up a dime. If it's there, and it's supposed to be $20,000, it has to be put up for the royal family and the Emirates to wait the way they got it set up. I said, well, if they're going to give us $5 million, take it out of the $5 million. No, they can't do it that way. I said, oh, really? Now, we didn't ask them for it. They said they're going to give it. So the Caucasian says, I'm telling you, man, it's there. I said, well, tell him, since he's so sure, he put it up. And we'll give him 22 back. So he said, he'll do it. So I said, okay, he's going to do it, let's see. You know, he guarantees it. So if it fails, we ain't spent the dime. And if it is absolutely true, we got $4 million in change. For the express purpose. Because they saw what we were doing, what we intend to do. They said they have never witnessed nothing like that in all of their days. All of their kingdomship. Never. They never dealt with nobody like us in the open. Never. They said, we would like to give you $5 million for to help you in your country. And we're going to start doing things over here. Your projects that you got going over here, we're going to start funding them, put them into motion. But the $5 million is for you to take to North America and work there with your people. So he was supposed to see them Friday. I'm waiting for the phone call tomorrow. See what happens. You see? Because you're at zero. However, like the messenger say, if you're zero and I'm one, either you come beside me or I come with you. We're at the beginning of the number system again. We've gone through the number 9. Once you pass that, you got to start over. From 0 to 9 is 10 numbers. And when you get into the 10, it's the teens now. Teenagers. Multiplied itself. Right? So you zeros, if you accept me as one, or the one, you got it made. Now let's look at this. With great substance. Great substance. Maybe you think, well, God should just float out of the sky and make everything happen real smooth. We don't have to worry about nothing. That's the lie white folks told you. That's what Christianity tells you. That has never, ever, never, ever, 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 and ever will happen. That just don't happen. You know, you don't even do that to your children. I mean, you do it with them with Santa Claus, Tooth Fairy. You know, then they go up and find and say, you know, they lied to me. Then my child wanted me to do the same thing. Oh, no. No, I'll give you $1 for your tooth, but I gave it to you. And they say, oh, if that's the case, Dad, that's all right. Just make sure I grow another one back. You see? So there ain't nothing left You can't go to the preacher, he got nothing for you. You can't go to the minister that's supposed to be so holy and powerful that even white folks recognize. But I don't recognize it. So all of that recognition that he's getting from other people can't help him not one cell in his misery. Matter of fact, the book reads, because you did this to your people, you shall die day by day in excruciating pain. Tell me we're not living it. Because of what was done, what you did to our people. Not what you did to me. You don't have the power to do anything to me. However, to the zero that should be with the one, you blindfolded them and made them think that there is no one and that God is a zero like you. You can't see him. You can't find him. You've been taken back to Christianity under the name of Muslim. You see? And when the black man came, he came. The man went to just about every major city, and the black man came out. Then he went to the city, D.C., direct current, and millions came. You see? After all that, you're still at zero. Now, there must be a price paid. You may say, well, I don't like this kind of talk. You ain't the one that planned it. If you ever going to come into anything that's likable, you're going to have to know this. And I don't mean to know temporary climax. That's temporarily good. I'd like to have it continuously. Why can't I? Because you're pleased with temporary? Are you all listening?
Yes, sir.
Well, I hope so. This is not a problem that depends upon your pleasure. It don't depend upon whether you like it or not. You can vote it out. You can vote it in. You can shoot it down. You can boost it up. I'm just so happy. You know, I thought about that. And I used to wonder, I wonder how come I'm never afraid of nothing. Never afraid of nothing. I used to be afraid of Uncle Bobby, but he was bigger than me. After I learned, but he used to take care of me though, you know, that was all in the plan too. You know, he used to ride me up down the street on his back. You know, I'd be back there pulling his hair like. However, since I don't have that in me, fear, I thought about it. So one day the scientists and I were talking. You know, I don't mean in the unseen like I was daydreaming or dreaming or had a vision. You know, just like you looking at me, that's the way we were talking, you know. So they were saying, you know, they started laughing and so forth. And I said, well, what's funny? He said, you know they're going to try to kill you. So I thought to myself, well, where's the humor in that? He said, they're going to try. I said, oh. Because it let me know nothing happens unless we permit it. Nothing happens. Nothing. Zero happens unless we permit it. So someone that is as important to the plan as this physical body is, all of the men of power from this planet and other star systems that know about this and is waiting is not going to allow even me to hurt me. I don't think you believe that. Why should we draw up a plan and omit that? Why should we have a man present a body, make a body, get back in the light, and then allow the body to be extinguished? That'd be a poor plan, wouldn't it? Can you imagine having your twin children and they come out boy and girl, handsome and beautiful, and they come out civilized? They almost come out and say, Mama, look at Mom. Oh, you my daddy? You'd be feeling, man, what have I got here? You know, if the midwife comes and looks like the cloth is too hot, hold up. Let me check this. You start right away, start protecting that. right? And you do it until you know the child has enough power to keep everything else in check. So why should they protect me? The book says a child was given or born. A child was born. A son was given. Son was given. Yeah, I remember some of this. He's a wonderful counselor. He's a prince. Peace. Now, the child wasn't saying it. The child didn't say that. Is that right, brothers? So somebody was saying that about the child. So if they already knew, then they're already in agreement with, we're going to protect this one. Ain't nothing going to happen to this. So when I got old enough, they actually came and told me, Royall, yes, sir. Don't worry about nothing. Nothing. I said, are you sure? I'm sure. Don't worry about nothing. Can't nothing happen to you. Nothing. There will be many that wants to destroy you. Don't even consider it. Don't go get no bunch of people around you protecting you. You don't need it. You want to go someplace? Go. You want to stay someplace? Stay from it, because that's what you want, not what they're telling you. You cannot come here, Mr. Jenkins. You're not permitted. Well, okay. Well, wait a minute. But I want to come in there. Well, how long are you going to stay? And I'm not speaking theoretically. I have a son he was just being a rascal. I think he still is. So his mother and his brothers had him arrested. They teamed up on him. He called me up. I'm in jail. I'm in the jail. I said, well, what you do? Well, they said I tried to kill my mother. I said, well, what did you do? Not what they said. He said, well, I was shooting at her. I said, son. If I didn't do it, I just left. I mean, you shouldn't have done that. He said, well, I go to trial. He told me his date and everything, where he was going to be held at. So on the way to trial, I stopped by. I had to go past the prison. It wasn't a prison, but it was bigger than a jail. So I had to go right past the place. So I said, well, I'm going to stop and go in here and talk to him, see what's happening. So I stopped, knocked on the door, went in, knocked on the door, said they opened the door, electrically. I came on in. So they said, well, yes, may we help you? I said, I'd like to see Clinton Jenkins. Well, this is not visitor's time. And who are you? I said, that's my son. They said, well, you'll have to come out. And they looked at the ledger and said, well, he goes to court. You can see him there. I said, well, I'm on the way to court. I haven't seen him in a long time. I'd like to get an idea as to just what he did from him before I go. I want to make sure if I say anything, the judge asks me anything, I'll be intelligent when I speak. They said, well, we can't allow you to come in, sir. You'll just have to wait. So I turned around and walked away, and I thought, wait a minute. I said, are you sure about that? Is there anyone over you? He said, yes. I said, well, let me speak to them. They came out with a woman. She said, well, Mr. Jenkins, was that explained to you? You're not in time to see it. She went through a spiel. I said, I understand that. I would just like to have the opportunity just to speak to him for a few moments. She almost turned and she says, hold on. She opened up another door and said, go in there and sit and wait. He'll be in a few minutes. I don't think I'd hardly sit down. Good, here he comes strolling in. Boy, tall as me. I said, well, what happened, son? Why'd you miss? Well, just to let you know, in other words, the things that I have tried, ordinary people are unsuccessful. And I don't ever try just to be boastful or out of order. Now, if there's a real firm no and it looks like it's going to be a fight, hey, forget it. Now, if it's something that I really have to do, it really must be done, Then with all that power they come up with me, whatnot. Most of them, when it gets to be that way, I just look at them. And I talk to them in their subconscious mind. You all seen Doctor Strange? You seen the man when he just, hold on, he'll be with you in a minute? That's what I do sometimes with crazy people. You know, because these people have been in power so long, they cannot even phantom somebody else being over them. That just, what? Oh, you must be talking about the sun coming up at midnight. Before that happens, you know, the water's going to stop coming to the shores before that happens. Let them know, well, it ain't no more water, I dried it up. Are y'all catching it? You can't be God if you don't think like God. I'm not to be denied. I'm not to be denied. If I can't have the whole pie, you're going to give me a slice. Oh, yeah. You see? However, the people that I have to work for or that I'm employed by, which is you, have the ability and the gratefulness that make me feel very happy about what I'm doing. Even at your zero-ness, I see your potential. And as long as I remain strong and do what I know that I'm doing, you're going to be just like me. And you know, sisters, there's not a greater feeling that a brother has, especially if he just got married, and before he gets married, you know, he's looking at his would-be wife. You know, he just full of her. And you look in the mirror, go to shave, he see her. Make sure he don't cut his skin, you know. He go to bed, you know, he got to talk to you a couple hours on the phone. Go to sleep. Wake up, man, did I hang the phone up? The whole time he's thinking, man, when her and I have a child, she had my son, he look good. I can't wait to experience that. He be thinking about it. You know, he be dreaming about what he gonna say to his son talk back with him, whatnot. You know, they be riding together. You know, this father and son. This is the same way it is I see with you all. I know what you're gonna be. I know it. If we didn't already know it, the plan would be a failure from its conception. It would be a failure from its conception. It said you all were so bright, the world called you the children of God, the children of light. You're the peacemakers. You're the meek and the humble. It's already said it before you actually are that. Right now they look at you, they say you're the scum of the earth. You're just nasty, filthy murderers. You'll kill each other. You don't give a damn about nothing. You'll have all this nasty talking, the rap, it's just uncivilized. That's what they're saying now. But we look through that past to what they're going to be saying. I hope you kept up. If you don't remember anything else, remember this, what I asked you to remember before. That I am loved by the power of the universe. And what will make them justified in their love if I get at least one of you. So I can't stop until I get one. I'd like for it to multiply, yes, sir. You know, I got a certain amount of time to do it. And then when the time has reached its zenith or its boundaries, if I got one, which is Minister Andrew, I would have been successful. Remember what it reads, or what was taught from the messenger. That the Lord told him, Elijah, tell them that I love them. Tell them to fly to me. Overnight. Overnight is now. And if they don't come, Elijah, don't you worry about it. I will have gotten one, which is you. Just you and I'll go. And from the one, I will be successful. I will destroy everything else, and you and I will bring in the new. However, the night was over year 2000. The night was over. So you should have flew to me beginning of the 2000. overnight. Meaning said the night is over. I'm here. The ministry was there in the darkness. Bright and morning star. In the darkness. I come, the sun, lightening up everything. So you should fly to me, ones that was with the messenger, you should fly to me. I just can't help being the man. Well, if we do have any inquiries here, any seekers, any askers, any knockers, don't you'll knock me. You have now the opportunity to come to the mic, or the mic will be brought to you, and you may ask whatever you like to ask of me. I'll be more than happy to satisfy your questions. Do we have anyone that'd like to ask a question? You do? She said, I do, but I'm not going to move yet. I'm not going to be the first one. Anybody have a question? Yes, sir. He can take it to you.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Walaikum salam.
This is a question from Brother Omar.
Yes, sir.
Would you clarify whether the 10,000 angels are in body and what the gender is?
Oh, they're both. They're most definitely in body. Every major life activity that affects life, we have an angel there. Or according to the proportion of it, we may have 3 or 4 there. So when it gets time, when everybody has flown and I get ready to really bring you out with great substance, there's people there already there. You know what button to push. So they're not floating around like white folks that think, well, they're angels. You can't see them. Oh, no. Where are they at, Mr. White Man? Well, one is on each side of your shoulder. You know, he's just sitting on your shoulder and telling you what's right, and one telling you wrong. They're like you and I.
Second question, the Muslim Sons have their international headquarters in Pittsburgh.
Yes, sir.
What's the spiritual meaning of the word Pittsburgh, and does it have any relation to their being headquartered there?
Yes, sir. Well, I won't say this is why they're there. However, the opportunity is very good for them being there. You know, there's a pyramid there, too, you know.
I didn't know.
It's a pyramid under the ground. Yeah, you dig about 30 feet, just the top of it. So we have allowed them to pitch their camp there. And that's where they'll be. Until in Pittsburgh, that's where the pyramid is buried. And we allowed the wise men, or the son of the wise men, to pitch their camp there. So it automatically gives them a certain amount of inward feeling about what they're doing. However, the real man is you and I. The whole earth is a pyramid for us.
Thank you, Father.
My final question, in the scriptures, in the book of Revelation, it refers to the Middle East in the times of the last days that the blood would be as high as a horse's bridle. Is that literal, or are we witnessing that at this moment?
Yeah, that's literal. That's going to be, however, it's not going to be there in the Middle East where the blood is that high. It's going to be in the cities of North America. And it's going to be black blood. There in the Middle East, the way that they're killing people, it's not enough of them in no one place for that to really take place. It's going to actually be fighting. However, it's going to be a lot of blood spill. You know, with the technologies and the weapons that they have today, if they dropped a nuclear bomb, no blood is going to spill, it's just going to disintegrate. Right? However, but you, dumb black man, you got something coming. If you're not with me, it's going to be true, dreadful. If you're with me, great.
Yes, sir. I'm with you, Father.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Y'all understand what's being said?
Yes, sir.
Just before the great and dreadful day, meaning that it's coming, whether Elijah comes or not. It's just that it's a mercy to you, black man, that Elijah is sent or raised right amongst you to tell you what must be done and who to fly to and when to do it overnight. However, nobody or the proper amount of attention wasn't placed on that. So it looks like 90 to 95% of the black population here in North America is going to perish. Take a poll. Look, I mean, here in the neighborhood I went to, the churches was jammed. They don't want to hear nobody know Allah. Wasn't for that Allah stuff, there wouldn't be no 9/11. I'm going with Jesus. And they never stopped to think Jesus dead. So if you're going to go visit him, guess what you got to do? So in a few days, he's going to have a lot of company. Yes, sir.
Alaikum, Father.
Walaikum salam.
I wanted to know, was you always negative free?
Oh, yes, sir. Always. And that's if I was a Christian, I'd say, thank you, Jesus. That's a wonderful thing for you and I. I've always experienced a peaceful heart and a peaceful mind. I've always experienced it. It wasn't that I had negative and that I was so loved by certain people that they changed me. No. I was alive before I came in this body, so I had enough knowledge to prepare the body to be in sync with me, the entity. So I wasn't going to be pure and clean as an entity and then step into a muddy body. So I made the body just as clean as me, and then I stepped in it. And I've been rolling ever since.
And I wanted to ask, how can we become negative free?
Oh, well, you can't become that. I will have to do it for you. And after we have determined, shall I say, after you have determined that you're with me, and then I'll do it at my leisure. You don't need to be in a hurry because you ain't going nowhere. You're going to be with me. The book says no more death. So, when it gets around to you, I might do it the way Wallace and Lewis did with your names. Everybody with me, your name is Muhammad. You might have a big meeting, go to Georgia Dome, bring everybody with me. Say, okay, everybody's here with me. Now you're negative free. However, it won't be done that way. But I have to do that for you. I even have to do it for the original God. Got it? Is that it? Oh, got one more?
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Based on myself, my name is Roger Martin. I'm a student. I kind of study a lot. And as my years of studying, I've been studying, actually, who is Allah? And I'm kind of confused because there's also, as far as like a book called the Quran, where every page that mentioned who is Allah. So I'm kind of confused because there's certain qualities that's mentioned come across, and that everything he does for a purpose, for wisdom, and for a divine reason. And he's not our reason here, living here today, our purpose here, that we were created for a purpose and a reason, which is worship, and that Allah sent books and messengers and angels to protect us so that we can carry out and know our mission and our purpose in life, and that we return to Allah, and that Allah is all living, He doesn't sleep, He's not unlike His creations. I'm kind of curious as far as, so I'm kind of confused and wondering as far as this, because of the qualities that I read so far, which has in the book, which has some of the most characteristics of Allah, and that everything He does for a purpose, and that we will eventually return back to Him, and He's always living, and He will never die.
Well, let me explain that to you. You may stand there, you may have another question. Y'all ready for this?
Yes, sir.
I like to talk about me. You know why? Because I know me. The Quran is a book for the open enemy. It is not a book for the righteous. The righteous don't need no book. However, since the man of sin was given the authority to rule, and even rename everything, even the angels. So to keep from him having to say, well, I would have been right if you had sent a messenger from yourself in my color and put it in a book where I could read it often and recite it and rehearse it and use it as a guide to make sure that I would be successful in being in your favor. So we said, well, since we knew that, we said, well, this is what we'll do. Since we promised him that he could rule, that automatically means I can't show up. Automatically. Just like if I'm going to say, now darkness is to rule. That means the sun can't rise. It just can't rise. If it does, I lied. So we're going to let this man rule for 6,000 years. So anything that's concerning me, I have to send them to him. I can't come. And the person or entity that I sent, when they have completed their duty, they will come back to me. That's what it means, right? They come back to Allah. They come back. However, the man of sin won't be able to say nothing, because in that book is a guide for those that want to be aright. And there is no doubt in it, in the book. The reader of the book can inject doubt in his thinking with the allegorical that's in the Quran. However, that's not for the man of zero. Not for him. Because the man for you is one, not a book. That's why the government here in North America does not run their government based on that book. Because if they did, they would have to change their whole way of treating people. It would impede or impair their nature. They couldn't practice it. So the book was given to them. And this piece of land over here that's protected by 2 oceans, which makes it hard for anybody else to get to us without us knowing it, book wasn't for us. This is a piece of land that is here protecting us. And then we made the man develop very scientifically so he could spoil us. Don't you follow me? See, I'm showing you love even at zero. There ain't nothing stopping you from getting into your Lexus. 2002. Driving on off. Don't even worry about where the oil is coming from. Your brother overseas got it. He's just pumping it over here. However, the Caucasian, the enemy, the man of sin, has to have a guide because his very making causes him to forget. He can't remember things, especially if it's true. Because he's not a true man. He's mankind, kind of a man. So things that motivates the real man, it's hard for him to remember it. So we put it in a book and told him, look, read this often. Recite it often. Pray often. And use it as, not that it is, however, as a religion. And then in the end time, the Supreme Being himself will show up. However, he's coming to the lost sheep. One that's lost. Not geographically lost. He's just mentally lost. He can't find one to put with his zero, so he remains zero. He sticks with the fractions that's in the zero. You know, it takes 10,000 fractions to make the one. He deals with 9,999. Just can't find that other fraction. So you get the Quran and you read that. And Allah says this and Allah says that. Allah didn't say that. He inspired. He sent Gabriel to speak to Prophet Muhammad. And Prophet Muhammad, and look what he told him. Read. You mean to tell me he was so dumb he didn't know the man couldn't read? Think about it. Here's someone coming, dropping revelation on you that's profound. But he don't know the man can't read. So it couldn't have meant that kind of reading. Couldn't have meant that. If he could read and write, he would have wrote the Quran. He didn't. It was 20-some years later after he passed before they wrote it. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So he never read the Quran. However, he did read. He read nature. And in his reading, he read the nature of his people. And it saddened him so much that he died from grief. From grief. That's how much it saddened him, because he read. However, I shall raise Elijah, little man, just before that great and dreadful day. And I, being the Lord, I will come, and I will collect you, all that will have me. I will bring you out of that place. What place has the Arabs or any Muslim country that uses the Quran, what place have they ever been in and they were a slave, all of them? Can't find it. Why should he have to bring out somebody that he gave a book and their government is based on the book? Why should he have to go and bring them out? Did he make a mistake? I don't think so. So the Quran, that's another trick and a trap for the black man here in North America. I won't say throw it in the garbage, just don't open it until I give you the proper understanding of it. Remember, in all of you getting, even getting the Quran, get understanding. So, if I answered your question, God, Allah, the Supreme Being, could not show up. If he did, he would have broke his promise. So he had to send people. And when he sent them, when they passed or expired, their real entity that never, 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 ever dies comes back to him. Until it gets to the time, he ain't sending nobody. I dress up, gird up, get on trigger, and let's ride. Come myself. If that answers your question. I was being a little humorous. However, you learn a lot better that way. Yes, sir.
Basically, I'm kind of cut it short. I'm kind of doing a picture, but again, basically, from what I learned that the Quran is the speech of Allah. That since He's aware of mankind, since He created them, then He revealed it in a level that they understood. He revealed it in a level which they understood, with the verses that say that indeed He made this Quran easy to understand. So, and by also this has some of the most information about Allah, and that His characteristics, because most mankind, this is one of the main things they need to know is who is Allah. So, and also His characteristics. So I'm kind of close here, but as far as for a person that's studying, what's your advice? I'm trying to study and learn. I'm comparing characteristics in the Quran, which is the speech of Allah. And
well, let me say this. I'm going to explain what you're saying and what should be done. First place, the speech of Allah is truth. That's why every person on the planet can understand it. You don't have to speak a lot of dialogue. Like you can have a song and sing it. You have music and everybody on it. If it's the right kind of music, it'll move you. Well, matter of fact, it can be the wrong kind of music. That's the real language you're talking about. It's not the language that's written about in the English or in Arabic that's written on paper. It is also written in the book that you cannot exhaust the knowledge of me. If all of the trees were pens and all of the oceans were ink, you could not have enough to exhaust my knowledge. So we got a little man, which we call kind of one, and we gave him a little bit because it was enough to suffice for the 6,000, well, really for the last 1,400 years as to what he should do. So that's all he needed. Now, you and I, we are the Quran. We live it once you start being yourself. As long as you're at zero, you're expressing what everybody else do. I'm looking. I'm searching. I'm trying to find. Where is it? Who is it? And they speak. Those that have studied the Quran, you speak, well, we know who Allah is. You don't, because they don't tell you. They don't tell you who it is. It may speak as it being a he. But who he is? It'll tell you, if somebody comes to tell you that they are Allah, it's impossible. It's not a man. What they were saying, are you listening? What was being said is this. Since the book was given to a kind of a man, it don't make no difference how wise he got. He could never, ever be Allah. It's the same thing as saying, like, sisters, with all your beauty and all your wit, all your smartness, you cannot be Allah. So I can put it in a book and talk about how great you are and everything. And I also put it in the book, however, a woman cannot be God. It's the same thing. But since you read it, it don't read it very well. These people is a kind of you all. So that's why they can't be God. It's not their nature to be God. So one do stand up because they like to trick you. One will come stand and say, well, I am Allah. Don't even believe it. Can't be. However, when it gets to be the black man, the mighty man, Superman, when he comes in, after all has been tried, he steps in and gives you an understanding of it all and say, I am Allah. And I come speaking the bastard language that we allow you to be trapped up in. A language that is riddled with negative. I will come in that same language because that's where you are, and I'll show you how to speak it absent of the negative. And then this way, even the language will point to it and say, that's him. So you won't have to rely on nothing but this, the official book, the one that we gave you, made for you at your conception, your creation, your birth. You got it here. This is the book. You use this to read everything. So when you read me, you say, that's him. And matter of fact, I like him. I'm going to be just like him too. Now, if you can think, which you can, so I should say, if you will think what you have heard fits with your soul, it may be a bit contradictory to what you have mathematically formulated or calculated in your thinking based on what was given to you. You know, it's like you in the woods, you can't find nothing to eat, and you see this wild pig run by. You know, you strap up your tennis shoes a little tighter, and you go after that boy. Now, I'm with you, but I don't run after the pig with you. I'm telling you before you go, look, man, let's go find a tree with some sweet bark. Let's eat that. No, you eat it. So when you eat it, your stomach all fat. Now then after a while you tell me, I see this strange look on your face. What's wrong with you, man? I got a headache. God, it's killing me. And you see the smile on my face. Why are you feeling so good? Man, that bark was good. What you have eaten has poisoned you. And what you have eaten now has taken over your ability to calculate. So when you read the Quran with all the other things that support it, you look at it, you think, well, this is it. It was it for another man. It's not it for you. I'm for you. That's why it says at the end of the time, I will come. If it don't read that in the Quran, and it does in the Quran, this is how it reads it. I think it's in the 114th surah, 113th surah. You know, what is it, the dawn? The dawn, where it says, seek refuge in the Lord of men. Right? The dawn. And when is dawn? Just before. In other words, the Quran is telling you all through the night, this is what you do. Because the people that's doing it are night people. They're not light people, they're night people. Their nature is night people. So this is the book for the night people. However, when you get to the end of the book, then seek refuge in the Lord. You don't say seek refuge in Allah. Seek refuge in the Lord of the dawn. Meaning the wisest man that ever lived, just before daylight, he steps up. Matter of fact, he's bringing the light. So it reads that too, right in the Quran.
Yeah, I agree what you're saying as far as there's like a contradiction between what the Quran says as far as that we should believe once something else comes, that there's only one true God. That part I'm understanding, and I'm going to go, so basically, yes, I learned, understood that the Quran teaches that there's only one Allah. My question is now, I'm leave, but once my kids come, 70 years from now, or 100 years from now, my grandkids come, myself, I believe that as far as God in the Quran, but as far as my kids and others, once the kids come, 7 years from now, or 100 years from now, what form are you going to be in then?
100 years from now, let me look up the line. This is the principle. This is what he's really asking. Allah is eternal. He's not here today and gone tomorrow. If that's so, he ain't Allah. Let's look at it this way. In the beginning of the creation of Allah himself, the original Allah, there was no such thing as death. It didn't exist. He brought it about willfully because he kept experiencing this irritation in his makeup. He would say to himself, what is this? I didn't create this. What is this whisper? And it would never show itself, never. So the original Allah said, well, wait a minute, I know how to make it show itself. I shall leave. And what he did, the body that he was in, he laid it down. And when he laid it down and took the entity and left, he made that a law that everything had to do what he did. So, commonly speaking, it is called die. You know, like this microphone. They got to take the wire, cut it out and everything. A die does that. You know, your automobile and everything. It's a mold. It's set, and then they stamp it. And it comes out just the way the die is set. So since now, nobody can escape that process. So it's a die. So they say, well, so-and-so died. You see? However, it was planned. Now, this is why they can write in the book, when he comes and makes all things new, there will be no more physical death. That's not hard because that has already happened. It won't be. So 70 years from now, I don't know what I look like. It just be good. You know, so if your child comes up, and matter of fact, you with me, you can be living too. Looking like 16. Yes, sir. And remember Methuselah? Old fellow. I think he was 800 something like that. He still got him a son. Went on up close to 1,000 years and kind of said, oh, look, man, when is this foolishness going to stop? They say, oh, look, please. Methuselah, this is going to be around for a while, man. He said, what? This? Oh, yeah, it's got a few more 1,000 years. 1,000 years? Oh, no, I'm gone. I'll see you in the hereafter. When that comes about, I'll be standing in the ranks. Until then, look for me no more. He left. This is good. This is a cup of coffee that'll wake you up and keep you stimulated. You know I'm just having fun, right? It was true. Yes, ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. He don't know you were secretary, so you know how to hold it up.
Yes, sir. Father, will you share the significance of the when we actually see the moon very prominent during the day?
Yes, ma'am.
Will you share the significance of that?
Well, that's me and my wife walking together. Well, usually at that particular time, the sun is to such proportion and it has such a pure reflection that it even makes itself known at high noon. You know, because it's not, now, if the rotation is coming close to the sun, it'll fade out. But if the sun is shining here and you see the moon over here, you can see it. However, it's only reflecting the sun from the light that's here. So that's all. It's just reflecting it. There's nothing in between it. You and the moon that, you know, if it's cloudy, you can't see it. But if it's clear, you can see it. You know, you can see that there's two. Allah and the messenger. And what it means is trust only them because both of them, one gives light and the other reflects it. So you can always trust light.
Thank you.
Am I being naughty?
Yes, sir. I would also like to thank you for allowing me the opportunity to come to headquarters and assist in building the nation. So,
Well, I had to show your hard-headed brothers where the power is. They sitting back looking like, she ain't gonna make it. She looking good though. Once your brothers step in, then you and your father and myself going on vacation.
Oh.
You got something else?
No, sir. I actually would like to thank you for my father. Allowing my vision to be cleared in regard to how I actually see my father and the relationship to develop. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Yes, ma'am. Oh, man, we got enough car to go around the room. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir, Father. Will there ever actually come a time when it will be apparent to us when the scientists are given, it will become apparent to us what the scientists are saying when they come and bring us messages?
Oh, absolutely. They don't do anything from a standpoint of failure. They will not communicate with you and you're unable to decipher what they're saying. They know how to do things, like an alarm clock. If they want to talk to you right away, they talk to you in your ear. They may give you a vision. Bam, right there. You go, oh, my God, look at that. And you can't forget it. Now, if it's something for you to do maybe next month or something like that, they may come and give you a couple of rings in the ear. Before next month comes, your subconscious mind will have deciphered it, transferred it to your conscious mind, and be ready in time.
Oh, yes, sir. And the second question I have is, it's become apparent that the members really want to give you something from themselves. It's like a genuine want from them now.
Is that right? Yes, ma'am.
So I'm asking, by you being Allah and already having everything, and then by you just being, by you being one, everyone couldn't possibly do something for your person. So what is it that the members could actually do to show their love and appreciation for you?
You see, that's the only drawback of being God. Got everything. Nobody can't give me nothing. This is the best thing that one could give me, if you're going to give me something, is to live what I'm teaching. If you actually apply what I'm teaching, it makes me so happy. There's nothing more gratifying than an obedient son. Well, you don't have to tell him, son, don't do that. Or don't talk to me. Who are you talking to? What are you doing, smelling yourself? It'd be much better if you say, oh, he comes to, Father, I have completed this task, and I've also added to so and so and so. And you look at it and say, oh, hey, that was wonderful. That's very good, son. Then his mother comes up, she kisses him, they thank each other and whatnot. Got a gift for her and everything. Hey, if anything look like going to happen to that son, daddy goes up, hold up. Don't worry about it, son, I'll take care of this one. That's what it is, because obedience, the only thing a person can really give me is submission. And then after they submit, be obedient to what they submitted to. And what I give or share is knowledge and the method to understand it. Once you got that, you don't need it. You can't, if I say I want somebody to give me something, I need so little physically, I need so little that I don't need no body of people to give. I'd have to pick somebody out. Well, Mr. Robert, look, I need some, truckload of candy. Would you get that? He said, oh, yeah. Just one truckload, Father? Yeah, just one truckload. I can't do that through my teeth because they're all gone. You see? So just having people to give the person something, I don't wear mink. I don't wear, you don't see nothing on me. I don't wear no rings. I don't wear no watches. I don't wear no diamonds. I don't wear no ankle bracelets. I don't wear none of that stuff. So what could you really give me other than your obedience? That if you see that I really do need something, if you can get past Uncle Bobby, then you won't get to me. You know, I would like, what would really make me happy, or happier, is like the sister, I think she came up yesterday. Matter of fact, she's talking about the captain there in Atlanta. She was thankful that she allowed her to have him as a husband. A chill around them. Oh, boy, that's good. She was in competition with Patty. I was pleased. You know, because most sisters don't say nothing. If they do, they say, well, Father, he ain't right. I mean, say, man, I got more work to do. But that makes me happy.
Yes, sir. May I ask one more question?
Yes, ma'am. Don't you live with me? Go ahead.
If a person is in an investigation of this idea, however, it's not in and of their self. In other words, if they're coming out and to see you speak or listening to the tapes, but they're not doing it for them, they're doing it for someone else, or because someone else is doing it. Maybe like a wife, or like a brother or sister, something like that. What is the best thing for the individual to do so that the Satan in them won't come up and keep them from this?
Which person are you talking about? The one that's coming for somebody else's pleasure, or the person that's asked them to come?
The person that's coming for someone else's pleasure.
Well, the best thing for them to do, if they do that, the best thing they could do is listen. If they're coming to me, and they hear the meeting that I'm giving, it's just for them to listen. And if it is anything in them, then what they hear, the mathematics of what's expressed, or the nature, what their nature reads of what I'm offering, it will spark the necessary interest in them and say, well, I'm glad I was invited. And that's the best that they can do. In other words, if they come, it's like, you always see me tasting honey, but you don't know what honey is. You see me doing it every once in a while, got a nice golden brown tan to it or whatnot. See me stick my finger in. That's why you become curious. What is that? I said, it's honey. That looks nasty. I don't want none of that. Then one day they say, well, maybe I just try just to taste, see what it tastes like. You stick your finger in it too, but do this jar. This is mine here. And when they do it, they say, man, this is all right. So if they do that, that's the first step. However, when they're coming, if the base of their presence is because of someone else's will, then it's highly likely they will leave with their opinion still. At least they were invited. So they do have an opportunity.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. We supposed to leave here at 5? 6? 5? 6? We got a couple more minutes. Is that it? Is that it? We got another question?
Yes, sir, Father. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Yes, sir. Father, yesterday, the brother asked you a question concerning the entity. And after that, the question came up as to, in a situation like the king, where he was given a new entity, what took place with his old entity?
No, sir, I never said he was given a new entity. I said an updated entity. In other words, the update means that now you have a knowledge greater than what you had for the future that has not yet been lived or experienced. However, you have the blueprint to it. So that's what, it's the same entity. However, it knows more now. And the more that it knows makes what it didn't know like nothing. It's no more need to go back to that old, because it don't weigh as much as what you're going to do.
Yes, sir.
All right?
Oh, man, thank you for a gift that you recently gave me.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I want to thank you for the son that you gave us a little over a month ago. He's a joy. The night that the morning that he was born, my wife, and I want to thank you for my wife. I heard the sisters thank you for the brothers. However, I want to thank you for my wife.
Yes, sir.
The morning that she was delivering, she had a postcard picture of you and the king in the bed with her, and she had asked if you were, they were considering a cesarean, and she had asked, that I asked the royal family if they would share that with you. And you had shared that you would be with her whichever way it was better for her and the child. So right at the point that they were making the determination to do the cesarean, they had asked me to dress, and the doctor started to dress. I reached over and I picked up the postcard because I didn't know if we were coming back to that room. And she was looking at me with this determination that she was not going to have that cesarean. And she was looking at the doctor. She even told the doctor, no, sir, I'm not having it. So I looked over to the corner. She looked at me. I looked over to the corner. I looked at the postcard. And I said, Father, don't give Satan the opportunity, no opportunity to cause any doubt. And when I looked back, the doctor said, there's one other thing I can try. And she delivered the baby. And I said, praise be to you, Father.
You know, there's too many coincidences, if we can call it that. And these are just a few that are telling me. Quite a few people that's experiencing things that don't have the opportunity to tell me. But regardless of whether I'm told or not, I shall always be found being me. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Walaikum salam, Brother Robert.
Father, it was almost 6 years ago that I met you here in Columbia, South Carolina. At that time, my wife was sitting in a wheelchair with an oxygen tank. And you came out and saw her and shared, Sister, what is your situation? And she shared with you it was COPD. You said, stick with me. Continue doing what's right. Study your lessons. And we'll see what takes place. Up until that time, my wife had never been well. From the inception of our relationship, she went through her sickness and my insanity all at the same time. I'm standing here today to bear witness that I know exactly who you are. After we saw you and heard you that July, 1996, in October, my wife went to the hospital, and she came back without any oxygen. However, the day that we saw and heard you, the oxygen had run out of her tank. I didn't know. She didn't share it until later on. However, that February, a very close and dear friend of mine passed. And just before he passed, I'd introduced the idea and you to him. You gave me the opportunity to have a personal audience with you. And at that time, I thanked you for my wife's health returning and for allowing me to be able to leave her for the first time in our relationship alone. I knew then who you were and who you are. However, when I shared with you about the passing of my friend, and you looked at the program and shared with me exactly what took place in his passing, I was even more confirmed because only a few people knew of the situation that he was suppressing. I've seen this nation grow at such a rate with so few people and so few dollars that it just reaffirms that you are who you are. And what I'm really thankful for is my wife. Because you have given me someone I've never known before. And I just want to thank you for that.
Yes, sir. Well, just being me. Brother, but make me mushy. You know, this is a wonderful day. And it's a day filled with oneness. That means each one of you all are also one if you chose to be. So I would say gravitate to it as quickly as possible. And so you will be able to explain, to experience, to show, to bear witness that you're in the favor of the Supreme Being. And so you will be able to say, and people will be able to see that you most certainly are one of the children of God. If that happens, it's not yet. When that happens to a proportion where there's no doubt, I'm going to be jumping up and down. I'm jumping now, but I'm holding on to the rostrum. You know, because I know it's going to happen. You know, if you plan for a big concert, the people that just go to the concert, they do little planning. Well, I'm getting paid so much this week, so I'll put so much away. That's a little plan. But the person that's actually planning it, they got to go through everything, and it starts a long time off. You know, we have our birthday celebration, and as soon as that's over with, they done started planning for the independence. You know, they're dealing with the hotels, they're dealing with the caterers, you know, and they're getting the deals. It don't just happen right away. So every time they go to do something and they're successful, it's like a notch like saying, yeah, it's going to happen. Yeah. So it's the same thing with you, black man. I know you, look, no doubt about it with me. I know you, God. No, you can't tell me you can't show me you not. You just can't do it. It's impossible. My problem is showing you. You the man. You the man. The black man is the man. Yes, sir. We got sister, y'all got any questions? Or y'all want to know where the brothers are? And so I had the brothers bring the mic over there. Yes, sir.
Sister raised her hand. How are you?
Okay. I asked her in the beginning if you wanted to. But I'm certainly glad that you are quick moving. Fast thinking and quick moving.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Walaikum salam.
I can speak now. My voice isn't cracking. I want to thank you. Yesterday when I spoke, I could barely speak. And my heart is free. My mind is lifted. I don't have that negative on me that I came from Springfield, Massachusetts with. And I feel free, Father.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to thank you for that. I also want to thank the 3 elders from Springfield. Because when we were coming from the hotel today, they expressed to me, and here go my voice again, I'm very emotional. I want to thank the 3 elders, Brother Captain Willie, Brother Lieutenant Henry, and Sister Minnie. They expressed to me, I live in Springfield, Mass., and they expressed to me how much they love me, and I realized today how patient they've been, Father, because they introduced me to you 5 years ago. I was just playing around. But I want to thank you and the elders for the patience with me. Yes, also, I do have a question.
Okay.
Can I be permitted to touch the hem of your garment?
To touch the hem of my garment? What? Is he in here? No, what I said, I got a son here. I understand what you're saying, but
yes,
before it happens, I want everybody to have a clear understanding. The hem of my garment is the youngest child. That's the youngest life that's from me. That's the hem of the garment. Now, in Christianity, you think it would actually be a garment, but a garment can't save you. If you could just touch the lowest or the youngest life force from God, you'll be saved. However, you may come and give me one of those hugs if that's what you're talking about.
Yes, Father.
that was fun. Any other while you over here? Yes, got another one. Got someone else over. You don't mind waiting, do you, Brother Rock? Wait. Watch your...
Some Lincoln Father.
What are you saying?
It's not a question. We're getting ready to start our fundraisers back in Springfield.
Yes, ma'am.
And what I want to ask you is, I have gout in one of my knees, and it's hard to stand up a long period of time.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm asking you, would you help me with that? Because Brother Captain is a hard worker. He'll be propping me up to work. So I'm asking you, would you take away some of the pain so I won't have to be propped up?
Well, this is what I'll do. If you are in your home and what you do is exemplifying or expressing the right kind of spirit,
yes, sir.
Then I will remove all of the pain.
Yes, sir.
And the conditions that caused it.
Yes, sir.
And if you do it within a 3-week period, it'll be done. The faster you do it, the quicker I'll do it. If you do it by the time you get out of here, that's when it'll be done.
Yes, sir.
If you take 2 years, that's when it'll be done. Is that a deal?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Also, you spoke yesterday about the brother and the knowledge of being hot, in the bed.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
I have to get out of the bed a lot of times because I be burning up, and he be burning up, and I'm saying, are you cold? Why don't you turn the heat down? And he said, no. And I have to get up on top of the cover.
Yes, ma'am.
So.
He's a black man?
Yes, sir. And I thank you for him.
Yes, ma'am.
When I first came with you, we were having our problems, and you told me to leave it alone. However, I didn't do it at that time. And I shared with Sister National. And after that time, I thought it was time for me to give in.
Yes, ma'am.
And now I am happier than I ever been. And that is the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
And I appreciate you for my husband.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's wonderful.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Alaikum.
I forgot to ask a question yesterday. When you shared about the planets from Pluto to Earth, and this is the planet where her birth, the female, was made.
Who? Oh, yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Does that mean that are there women on other planets? The people, are there two, or is it still just one gender?
No, ma'am. There's 2 genders now. However, it wasn't until we started it here. That's it? You all understood what she asked? You didn't understand? Well, before we actually made the woman so that we could reproduce ourselves, there was no such thing as female anywhere else. She was saying now, Pluto was first, and we come all the way up to Earth. Was there any females before we got to Earth? Because we didn't make the female until we got here. And I said, no, ma'am, there wasn't. However, there is now, since we did do that here. What the God does, he also allows it to be done on the other part of the creation that he has done. He like updates them. Like I'm sending down the memorandum of what, what's good for today. So all the planets get it, and so they go into motion to, adhere to it. Got it? Okay. Yes, ma'am. Did you understand? All right.
I am a visitor.
Yes, ma'am.
And I understand you at the end to say, I am the one. And I've heard a lot of questions around the room. And I am the one, meaning you are Allah.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to make sure I got this understanding before I left.
Yes, ma'am. That's true. The brother that's, I don't know if anyone else has studied the Quran in here. That's not with me. The English pronunciation for the word Allah is Royall. Since we're not in an Eastern country or Islamic or an Arabic-speaking society, the ones that was most precious to the Supreme Being, myself, is located in a country that does not speak Arabic. And to show my love for you, I came where you are. And I speak what you speak. And I wear a name now, it's no longer up and down my thigh. If I wear a name that indicates in English the same potency that the Arabic name Allah means. Roy, R-O-Y, means to judge or to summons. And my name is spelled with 2 L's, A-L-L. You hear people call me Father. However, my birth name is Royall, R-O-Y-A-L-L. Some white folks, they write it down. I said, there's another L. I said, what that for? That don't mean nothing. I said, just put it down here. They think it's redundant. You know, like they do your tonsils. You know, they think that I don't know what that's for. God didn't know what he's doing. Yeah, we'll take it out. Oh, appendix? You don't need that. Take that out too. But I said, no, everything is for something. So if you're going to call my name in this country, at one time, you got killed if you did it. If you say Allah, they say, what do you say? Oh, kill him. So you stop saying Allah, you start saying ow. You still say it today. Somebody hurt you, you hurt yourself, you say ow. If it's real bad, you say, oh, God. So those that are with me and understand, they don't say that. They just say, Father. Well, what did I miss? Well, you shouldn't have been running around the bed. You wouldn't hit your toe. Think of it this way. You're not going to meet anyone unless they're with me. And if they're with me, you got to practice at being it. So comfortable being the truth or in the truth that you play with it. Truth isn't supposed to be like this serious, staunch. No, it's supposed to be just like a child. Or they be playing so hard, hey, slow down, you hurt yourself. Oh yeah? If you don't watch it, they go right back doing it. Truth is the same way. It's not going to hurt you. Because by the time you realize what you got enough intelligence to know how somewhat to do it in a balanced manner. But it keeps you always, hey, you read it. I mean, you read it. I know one night, is it hard to say this? One night I was sitting up in the bed, and I was sitting to myself, and the brother was saying, don't get this wrong. You God and you sleep? No, I don't sleep. I let the body rest. I don't sleep. I hear everything. I see everything. However, the body don't. I let it rest. So one night I was sitting up with the body on the bed. And my wife said, I'm hungry. Well, I knew she wasn't really hungry. Because she just ate. This is about 3 o'clock in the morning. And I said, well, what do you want to do? Let's go out. I said, I ain't hungry. So I said, okay. Jumped up, jumped in the clothes, jumped in the vehicle. We took off. Where you want to go? I don't know. I said, well, what's open? Well, International Pancakes is open. Well, we go there and I'll watch you eat some pancakes. I ain't gonna eat no pancakes. I eat a salad. Okay. However, when I get up at 3, I'm just as lively if I go to bed at 9, 10 or 11. Or if you see me at noon. I'm 60 years old. 60 years old. That's the number of the original God. In the book it says the number 6. One more 6. That's the number of man. And it is wisdom. My number is 7. But I've reached the number 6. Good number. It includes you and me. It's a number that represents duality. 2, 4, 6. Now I'm getting ready to step into 7. I ain't got no partners then. Just me. By then, I would have made you just like me, so all of us would be 7. Is this being explained clearly enough for those that are visitors? Do you understand what's being said? Yes, ma'am. Because I really want you to, when you leave from here, know that you have at least encountered someone that's unique or unusual. Would that be right to expect? Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So my higher power, who I choose to call God, have I met him today?
Looking right at it.
Okay.
You know, the difficult part with people is the belief of that. Because I've been absent so long, you have no credible reference to draw from to determine, other than your ability to think mathematically. If you think on your feelings, you can say, that man's not God. He just can't be. Because I feel God to be handsome, debonair, light flashing all around his ears, power jumping from his hands. Now that would be God. I thought about that once. I said, I wonder if I should do that. I said, oh no, I'd be scared of people to death. That might even scare me. However, and this is what makes you God. Because I always speak to the wordless knowledge that you have. The knowledge that you cannot form from your tongue to speak. I use this bastard language and speak it to you, and you say, yeah, that's it. And it supersedes your feeling. I don't believe he's God, but what? No, he can't be God. However, like the sister said, 5 years. Now, she's way down from Massachusetts, way down here. And she made it across the border, south of the border, where the real rulers are. So, yes, ma'am, the higher power I've been described in many different ways, however, never accurately. I'm very humorous, because I don't fear nothing. I don't fear you leaving me, or you ain't came yet. We got another one? Another question?
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
I would like to know why it's not good for us to eat scavengers.
Well, because it's another form of filth. In other words, the filth that you would not eat, a life form has consumed it and transformed it into itself, which filth can only produce filth. The filth now that has been eaten has become a living entity. It has life to it. If you saw it in its original state, you wouldn't eat it. You know, if you saw what catfish eat, you wouldn't eat that. But the catfish eats it and changes that filth into a living form. So now, since you see its life in it, you figure, hey, let me try. All kind of ailments, you won't think right. The pain won't let you think right. So that's why. It's one behind you. Oh, somebody right there? You have a question? There you go, brother. Oh, sister, yes, ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Walaikum salam.
My question is, how does one overcome hang-ups?
Hang-ups?
Yes, sir.
Remove the hanger. Truth and the practice of it settles everything. And if you don't know what the truth is, go by the law of the particular thing that you're trying to gain or get rid of. If the law is, if you smoke reefer, you're going to get high. That's the law. You don't want to get high. You want to keep your memory. The law is, don't smoke it. Now, go by the law, not your feelings. Now, if the law is, if you want to be healthy, don't eat the swine. It don't make sense to get you some spinach and put you some fat back in it. The law is not that you have not purified the fat back. The spinach didn't purify it, but the fat back did pollute the spinach. So the law is, don't do that. So whatever is hanging you up, if you don't have the knowledge, just go to the law and go by that. Now, if it's a spiritual situation that you're experiencing, speak to someone else that you know is spiritual and be free, open with it. Don't tell them 95% of it and hold that 5% because you think, well, they'll say so-and-so if I let them know that. No. If you're really going to get to it, spill the beans. Let them bounce and go where they may roll. And then the answer that comes back to you will free you. And a lot of times, if you which all of us, I say us, most people have had of us either had or have habits. Never try to go at a habit and think, well, I'm going to do it overnight. I'm just not going to do it no more. Unless you me. Then whatever you say like that, you have the power and the will to actually make it happen. What you do, I have a habit, I'm going to break it. I've been smoking a pack a day, I'm going to smoke down to 5 a day. Make it a law. Then when it gets down to be about 5 a day, then you say, look, I'm going down to 2 a day. Make it a law. Then because you slipped up to 5 one day, next day, don't say, oh boy, I done broke it, so I may as well. Sometimes one step backwards make the step forward look much better. You see what I'm saying? So that's the way you approach it, and that's the way you handle it. Man, people trying to break it?
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
I would like to know from you if the children of the mothers and fathers who are not Muslims, if you would be able to bring them into the mosque, the younger ones.
Oh yes, ma'am. It says, suffer unto me the little babies, the children, for within them is my kingdom. So the only thing I have to do is make sure I make the opportunity so they don't have a choice. You and I may have had a choice. I didn't have one because I came this way. Most people have a choice. If you got negative and positive, you got a choice. You can either go positive or you can go negative. Or you can mix it up. One day be positive, next day be negative. Next hour be whatever. What we're doing, and from our own efforts, we're producing a system. We're producing a way of life. By the time they grow large enough to be responsible for anything, they're already in it. They can't help from getting wet. So they will make it. The younger they are, the better chance they have to make it. It's as old folks, old and rusty. Some are eating that pig, old, rusty, and poison. Hard to save you, just hard. But don't even fret yourself about that. They don't have a choice. When I'm bringing it out, it's not going to be me and white folks all the time. You forget that. It's going to be me. It ain't going to be nothing. I'm telling you again. It's going to be me or nothing. Because I'm accustomed to working with nothing and making something. And remember what the messenger taught. We will be one or nothing. And that I do have the knowledge, the Quranic brother, I do have the knowledge to roll this whole universe up like a window shade and bring in a brand new one and never skip a beat. I shall not be lonely. I will not miss you. And what will let you know I won't miss you is already written, especially in the Quran. I won't even hear your cries. When we placed the 19 over the fire, over hell, and you in there screaming and hollering, I won't know it. I won't even hear it. So I can broaden that same situation, where the whole earth be crying in toil, misery. Sisters, young sisters, dropping your babies from your womb, from fear. I better not go there. However, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You got it.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
I'm Sister Marcia's sister, and Brother Rock's sister.
Oh, hold
and,
it up. Hold it.
And what I wanted to know, there's a lot of confusion that I have, particularly in my relationship with my husband. I'm trying to figure out how best to get out of a situation that is consumed with negativity. And I'm trying to find the strength or the will to make a decision to firmly remove myself from the situation. I've had a lot of difficulty with it, and I think most of it comes from the individual being successful in imparting guilt upon me.
Well, this is what I would do. Since you are, I'm going to speak like I'm you, all right? You understand what I'm getting ready to do? I'm going to speak like I'm you. Now I'm talking to my husband. Let's make a deal. Either you start treating me the way I should be treated, or else I'm leaving. And all of the friends that you know that we have or that you think that are mine, and whatever dirt you think you would tell them that they don't know, you're free to do that because I've already told them. So the deal is, we start right, or we're not going to start at all. Well, where you going to move? Don't worry about that. I got that laid out too. I have a couple places. I haven't decided yet which one I would go to. However, I'm loved by more than you. And if it comes down to push and shove and nobody takes me, I know a man named Royall. He got a whole nation. He got so much people can't even give him nothing. I'll go see him. So now, what's he going to be, buddy? I did it in a humorous way. That's all you got to do. First, you make your mind up. After you make your mind up, you talk to those that know you and understand. Don't talk to people that don't understand. You talk to those that understand. And as far as guilt, forget that. Forget that. If you did it yesterday, if he caught you out with a man yesterday, that was yesterday. I'm saying if. I ain't say you did now. If, that's yesterday. Once you made your mind up, you made it up. I'm not taking this any longer from nobody. Not him, not my children, not my sons, not my mother, not my father, no one. I'm not taking it no more. When you make your mind up that way, then you say, well, look, then you call your friend, whoever it is, your relative, I may need a place to stay. Will you be willing to house me for a while? And they say, well, yes. Now, this is why I've been need. Otherwise, let it know. And they say, yes, and now we'll make an agreement. I'm going to go on your word. It's in the open. You say, yes? All right. Now, I'm going to call a couple other people just in case Satan step up to change your mind before it happens. So call another person and ask them. And don't worry about what is going to be said. What you do is make sure you tell them what's really happening. So what is said, you controlled it. Don't tell them in bits and pieces and then allow Satan to talk to them and he come out with a lie on you. Just come out and say it. Look, hey, my husband and I have not been making it. Look like he's not going to make it. I seen another man, and I knew that's not right under the eyesight of God. So even if I'm going to go to the other man, I got to get rid of this one first. Now, in the transition, I need a place to stay. And the person has to say, well, oh, man, yeah, well, okay. They can't say, well, child, she didn't tell me why she was leaving, but I swear, I think I know. See, you cut all that out. They can't say it. And like I say, I'm first and last. I'm like the ace in a deck of cards. I don't let the deuce come in. And that joker, take him out of the deck.
Thank you. May I ask you another question,
Yes, ma'am.
please? Earlier, one of the other brothers was speaking on the idea and how it evolves from, or as being a part of an entity.
Yes, ma'am.
Was birth as an entity, I believe.
Yes, ma'am.
And if it begins with a word, my understanding, if it begins with a word, I'm trying to understand why we are a part of a particular family of entities. Because when he said it begins with a word and we are an entity, I'm trying to understand why through my suffering as a child why I was attached to the two entities that represented my parents.
Well, let me explain it this way. A whole did not become a whole until it had enough fractions or pieces to make it a whole. You cannot get a sentence without a word. You've got to have words to produce a sentence, unless you just say, I. If you say, who? Me? 2 words. So the same thing it is with the ruler and guider of all things that exist. All of you all are a fraction of me. I would say that you're just a thought from me. However, the thought is so large, it entails a mass of completed ideas that you represent from me. I'm so large that the mass of completed ideas to me is a thought. You see? So now, if I'm going to bring you here to perform a particular duty in this pool of thoughts or entities, then you must have a certain amount of power in your body that will respond to the power in your entity. So it looks, the way we do it, we take a male and a female and put them together to produce the body. And then you as the entity take it. So your mother and father, based on what you had to do and what you have to do, is the perfect or was the perfect vessels to produce that body for you. That's why. However, it don't mean that you're tied to them. You're always tied to the author of the entity or the thought. That's why if parents raise their children correctly, they're never taught to worship a person. They're always taught to be right. Now, if you teach them right, and this is how you be right, then they will love you anyhow, or they will really love you because you have always taught them a system of freedom. So because they had some fun making you, it don't mean that you have to be loyal to that, especially if they didn't do right. But that was the body that was needed for you. Now, you may have had a contrast with it until I show up. Then when I show up, I start giving you the understanding as to why, when, how, who, where. Then you say, oh, thank you, God. Say, you're welcome. And that's the way it goes. Because when you're happy, you're going to bring about things to increase it. You're going to multiply it. If you have children, you're going to make them happier, especially after you come into this. And the sister that's sitting beside you, if she keeps developing the way she is, I promised them that they'd have a baby.
Yeah.
You ain't pregnant, are you?
My will is that I am. Thank you, Father, for my life. And yes, I want to thank you for all the family in the United Nations of Islam.
Yes,
There's
ma'am.
nothing better than them.
Yes, ma'am.
Another question. Actually, I have a lot of questions, but I'll hold it down to this last one. Of course, I was raised a Christian, and having been raised a Christian, what things I am seeing right now as a result of 9/11 is the Christian movement per se, in that a lot of ministers, a lot of pastors and bishops are trying to come together and unite with their congregations to basically impress upon them how urgent it is that they begin to worship God openly, freely, and honestly. However, the contradiction that I see in Christianity more so than ever now is that even though they are speaking that the congregations come together, they support one another, they worship God more, I still feel in the presence of these individuals as if I'm not a part of the congregation, though I'm there physically. And I'm having a problem with that, and I'm trying to better understand why it is that all the individuals who are pastors and bishops, etc., in the Christian faith, why is it that they cannot mobilize the masses to do what is right?
Well, because the only way that people can be brought together on that level, it has to be truth. If you're not operating from the base of truth, the base of it, not truth what somebody told you, you know, because they can tell you many things and it may be true. If you haven't been taught how to actually do it, the truth won't serve you. So the pastors and whatnot, they're teaching a theory. They're teaching a belief. When something is true and you know it, theory ain't got nothing to do with it. You know, belief don't have nothing to do with it. So what they're trying to interject is something that's false or fantasy. It won't work. It can't work. It's just impossible. You're not supposed to tell the people about God. You're supposed to teach them how God is God and how you are his son or daughter. And once that happens, that will bring you together. Outside of that, they're wasting their time. They're wasting their time. So one day, soon, they're going to have to look at the rising sun. Because this light is going to get so bright, if you're not in accord with it, it's going to blind you with your eyes shut. It's going to, in other words, your eyelids will not be strong enough to keep the light from penetrating. You can put a pillow over it and close them tight and put some almost glue on it. The light's still going to come through. Believe me. Believe me. Then you might be frightened of what you see in the mirror. Is that it? We're getting ready to close this. Oh, yes. Oh, you holding up the brother there? Got one behind you. Oh, you got a brother there? Who got it? Yeah, he can come next.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Wa alaikum salam.
I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for everything. Last night I had a cramp in my leg. It would not go away.
Ooh.
I called on Father. I said, it's not going away, so I called on Royall. Yeah, Father, you took it away. And I just want to thank you for everything. You just bless me every day.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You need some help with him? Yeah, help him. Yes, ma'am.
I'm like, Father.
Wa alaikum salam.
You're mentioning your name. Up and
Let me
down.
walk down the aisle. Go read down the aisle, Brother Kevin. Brother Kevin, go read down the aisle. Just go read down the aisle. Let me walk around there. Yes, ma'am.
What is the significance of your name, Royall, being written up and down your thigh? And you had mentioned earlier, I think you mentioned today that, or did you mention that it was no longer that way?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. What was the significance of it being written up and down? What did that really mean? Because I know we can't see your thigh. So,
however, that's the key. Where are your private parts? Between your thighs. Because it's private. It's not for anyone else. So until I was ready to be known, the description was given, not that the name was actually written, but the understanding of the name was not given. So it's like it was written up and down my thigh. It's personal. So you could not know it until I chose to show you. Then you're seeing, well, some pretty good looking thighs.
so, because you are now revealed, that's why it's no longer written on your thigh.
Yes, ma'am. In other words, it no longer has to be described that way. It was never written in the way of written on the thigh.
Yes, sir.
It's just the principle showing you that's a private thing. And it's the same thing as saying, well, the knowledge of the planet and what should be done and whatnot was kept with 12 major men. That's the same thing as saying, like, it's a secret. Quite naturally, there was, billions of men on the planet. Only 12 knew it. So it's like a secret. Private. Now, when it got to be me, just the one, not 12, just one. So the principle still is the same. I've been going, my mother was inspired by me to name me Royall. She didn't know what it meant. And most of the ones that right today, if I don't tell you what Royall means, you don't know it means the English pronunciation for Allah, or he that judges everything, he that summons everything. You wouldn't know that. Now, when I come and tell you and then teach you about it, then I have exposed what I kept private.
Yes, sir.
That's all it means.
Thank you. I'm like,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Who else? Or the sister? Will you get it? Just pass it over to her.
Now that I've met God,
Yes,
for me to
ma'am.
become closer to Him in a spiritual connection, do I have to become a Muslim?
Oh, no, ma'am. You don't have to become a Muslim. The only thing that is required is that you accept the process of truth. When you start doing that, it's no embarrassment to you to be labeled or called or recognized as a Muslim. However, the reality of it is you're not, because I'm not. I'm not a Muslim. Muslim is a term that is applied to a person that is doing all that they can to do the will of God. I'm teaching a black man to be God. Don't do my will, be me. That's not a Muslim. And you don't read where Allah ever says it. And the brother says he studies the Quran. You never find in the Quran where Allah says, well, I'm a Muslim. Can't find it. However, the people that were never genetically, nature-wise, could never be God, the best they could be is a person striving to do the will of God. So we would call them a Muslim. So, no, ma'am, you don't have to do that. If you just accept the process of being right for the right reason, then that's all you need. We just know the only place you're going to get it is with us. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Again, I'm a newcomer. I know I probably won't see you again, so I want to kind of have a clear understanding. So, do you attribute that you had created heaven and hell?
You said, let me see. You asked me, did I create heaven and hell?
Yeah. Are you saying that you created heaven and hell also?
No, sir. We created the heavens, and the man of sin created hell. I won't say he created, he made it with our permission. Remember, this is the thinking part that we have to use or recognize. We allowed, the Supreme Being allowed the man of sin to rule. So the hell that we are now experiencing, and hell is not a place. It will be when I bring the fire here in this lake of fire. That's going to be sure enough hell. Until that happens, hell in heaven is a condition. Now, in my absence, hell, the man of sin, has developed everything and caused it to grow into a condition for you and I to be hell. I didn't have nothing to do with it. That's what he did. I just let him do it. I mean, you and I let him do that. However, we told him, though, we said, look, this is what we're going to do. We got a substance that is called ink. We named it ink. Ink. And it means the end. So we will take your end and write it across the scrolls before you begin. And we're going to give this to you. Then we're going to leave. So anytime you can't get in touch with us to claim that we interfered, open up the book and read what was written with the ink, which is your end. And at the end of that, at the end of the ink, which is written, you will see, I will come in the morning of the 7,000th year, and I will put you to rest. So now I'm gone. So that's what that means. I didn't create heaven or hell. The black man was a righteous man from creation. And what he put in motion can be styled or called heaven, because it means he's having. Whatever he wants, he has it. That's when you're in heaven. That's why white folks, when they do what they do, they're in heaven, because they have it. We don't relate to that. If we relate to it, that means we got to get vile. We got to get, I want to say, funky. We got to get downright dirty. just to relate to it and think that you're in heaven. But they in heaven. They take filth and they organize it. They organize it. They'll take white sugar and use pig blood to purify it. Good for you. They ran through pig blood. To them, it's good. You and I, it's killing us. So we're in hell, they're in heaven. So we change that around.
Okay. All right. I didn't see anything else.
Did you understand?
So for those who go against your will, per se, then as far as the punishment for them, there's no punishment for them? Or
Yes, sir. If you absolutely go against my will, and when I say absolute, absolute means the end of the time. That means all of the time. You use all the time up. And until you get right to the end of it, well, then it may be little small things that you punish yourself for doing it. You say, well, I don't want nothing to do with him. I'm not coming. Then walk out and stump your toe and break it. I mean, I didn't do that. You should have been looking where you was walking. Now, when you get to the end of the time, you still say, well, I'm still not, I don't care. I'll die and go to hell. Okay. That's your decision. I mean, you got that choice. And I most certainly have hell waiting for you. So when I place you in the fire, you can't say, but I didn't know it's going to be like that. Hey, I knew you were going to say that. So that's why I closed my ears to you. Because all of the things that I have done and is doing before you get to the edge, it should have spoken to your nature. And say, this is me. I'm not talking about me. But what's being done, it fits with you so well. It's like, hey, that's it, man. This is me. However, if you take a personal offense to it because I don't fit your category of a law, and I'm just, although it fits, but I'm not going to wear it, and go right to the end, then you won't have the opportunity to ever wear it. However, you most certainly will hollow out. You will be biting your fingers in intense grief. Believe me, it's going to be a fire that, and it's coming gradually, not just poof. It's coming gradually. And you'll be so miserable, whatnot, and so hot, you just, if I could just get out of this. Then if I could just have death, and death, you die. Then the person right next to you have a baby. You come right back in the baby. Oh, my God, I thought I left. No. You know what the Quran says? I'll give you new skin and roast you again. So, yes, sir, that most certainly is a penalty for ignoring the Supreme Being. However, you do have the choice.
So once we do that, we will see you. Once we do that, we will see you, and you will give us a reward for our good deeds and punishment for our bad deeds.
I'm not rewarding nobody for no good deeds. A deed is something that's over. In the Quran, it may say that, but we've got to understand what's really being said here. That's like saying, well, I'm going to reward you for a good act. It ain't real. You was acting. This is a good act. Forget that. I'm real. So everything that's real, be with me. Everything that's acting, go with Bobo. You see? Because it's act. So what it reads in the Quran about your duty. So everything, people that is like, that's the enemy of truth. All their good deeds and good acts are reward. You and I, we don't do no acts. We don't do no deeds. We do right. In order to have a good deed, it means you incorporate. Most of the time I'm wrong, but I'll be good today. And I'm supposed to say, oh, he was good today, so let me take him to heaven. Oh, no, sir. No, sir. You got to keep your duty to your Lord, and your Lord is me. Now, if you chose to get somebody else as your Lord, well, then you're going to reap the same reward as what that Lord does. Because I shall have no God besides me. I am truly, truly jealous. However, I'm a mathematical, thinking, jealous man.
Okay.
I hope y'all understand what's being said.
Okay, yeah.
I'm jealous.
So
I mean, I don't want somebody to come take what belongs to me. Make me think I'm weak.
Okay. So basically, and make sure I got my first question right, which I answered earlier. I want to make sure I got my first question right. You said as far as 70 years from now, once our kids are looking for somebody to guide them, you said that you're not sure. You cannot say specifically what form you would be. You can't say, okay, I'll be, as I put in the body of Thomas Jones. Can you, but since you are knowledgeable, you know the future, but you're saying that you don't know
Oh,
what
okay.
form you're going to be.
I see what you're saying.
We have something to look for, so that way we know for sure once that body
yes,
does go, you have people will say, okay, now we can turn to so and so.
Yes, sir. I understand. It is unmathematical for Allah to say he don't know. This is why we got to be balanced in our thinking. We got to know. We got to understand what that means. It's not I don't know. Of course I know what I look like. But I'm saying that's 70 years in the future. I'm most certainly going to look like this. I said I don't know because you've read it in the books. They said we don't know what he's going to look like. But he's going to make everybody look like him. We do know it's going to be beautiful. Well, I'm going to tell you, 70 years from now, I'm going to be light. I'm going to have a body. This body is going to be illuminated. And nobody, 70 years from now, nobody going to have to teach your children right or have them, be a guide to them. Because when they're born, before they were born, they're already in sync with what's happening. Before they're born. They will not be born from someone that's having fainting and pain while they're giving childbirth to them. So when a child, first thing they're introduced to life is trauma. And I'm removing that. The child comes out smooth. The child is glad to be here, and the parents is glad to see it. So everything starts off in rhythm, in harmony. So they won't have to be guided. Won't need no guide. They'll just be. Like God said, be. And that was light. I'm just playing this. But I hope you understand, brother. Other words, 70 years from now, life is going to be wonderful. Wonderful. Matter of fact, it'll be hard. If I explain it to you, it'll be hard for you to really get a good concept of it. That's why the scientists that write history 25,000 years in advance, they wrote it up for 15,000 years, and when they saw me coming, they couldn't write no more. They said, we got to lay the pens down. These 12 people, these 12 men I was talking about, they got to lay the pens down because they didn't know what I was going to do. They only knew what was going to take place was far greater than they had ever experienced. And that's why they say, ain't nothing going to happen to you because you are our insurance that we come back into life ever after and the ability to create forever. So we can't do it. You can. We'll make sure ain't nothing going to happen to you until you reach the time where you're actually going to do it. So go do your thing. We with you. You don't never have to see us. It's not necessary. We see you. And we see everything that would be aiming against you to take you out. It will not even be a thought. When they conjure it up in their mind, we'll cut a short in it. They can't carry it out. When they see you as an enemy, when they get to you, they see you as their best lover. For real. For real. For real. And remember, brothers and brother, you never have to think hard on truth. Truth is not to be studied. It's to be lived. That's how you study it, while you living it. You don't sit and study truth and then get up and ponder over it. As you may say in this world, hell no. As you being a child and you living and they bring you up right, whatnot, you don't study truth. You just be boogieing. You got to study wrong. You got to study filth. You'll be able to do it. You see these little children, whatnot, shaking their booties. They had to learn that. They had to study the moves so they could do it and then get approved by us. Go, honey, you're doing it. They never had to do that, but they did have to walk. You may have helped them. They was going to learn it anyhow, whether you helped them or not. You just couldn't bear to see them fall. So you hold on to them and tell them, hold them. But if you left them alone and didn't do nothing, they would walk. But if you left them alone and did nothing, they couldn't do that dirty dance. Because there wouldn't be no music to do it too. I hope you understand what's being said. Well, Brother Rock's been home for a long time. You understand? Get the tape. This is on tape. Get the tape and study the tape. Now, I'm going to say this. Don't go out and try to show yourself or prove to anybody else that you're living right. Don't try to make yourself live right. Just do what you know is right. And right will lead you to more right. And before you know it, you just be a right man. If you try to make yourself do it, every time you try to do it, you're going to mess up something. And that's why you're going to start being discouraged. Man, I just can't never get it right. I mean, I tried. Then Satan says, well, why don't you just forget it? Yeah, I'll just drop that. Then you fail. Just live, man, just live. Stay in touch with me. I'm going to show you how to live. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Wa alaikum salam.
Father, I think without being able to prove it, today,
yes, sir.
As always, when you come out, what you sharing is life-giving teachings that you can't learn in church. Father, I had two questions, however, because my sister asked one, I want to follow up.
Yes, sir.
In the Son, we chose our parents.
Yes, sir.
And in choosing our parents,
most of you chose them. Ones that's going to be right with me, you chose your parents. Ones that was kind of reluctant or sometimes even having an unpleasant experience, they had to be assigned to them. They went somewhat reluctantly. However, they knew it had to be done. So since they were doing a service for the whole, which is God himself or Allah himself, they went anyhow. But on the whole, on average, you're the one that do the choosing.
Yes, sir. And is that choosing done on being able to see ahead, having foresight of what's going to take place?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir, Father. That's it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. In other words, to choose something, you got to know what you're choosing. So you got to see it. You know, let's say, what is it? Let's make a deal. They got the 3 doors. You know, you might not know what's behind the door, but you know the basic of the game. You know something like, I don't care which door you get, you're going to get something. So you choosing the door. With this, you get an opportunity to see the parents, where they are, where it relates to what you got to do. And you say, okay, I want them to be my parents. And it's approved. And when it's time, before you can blink your eye, you and the baby crying. Eh. If you're my son, he jumps in, looks around. Gosh, golly, Dad, I made it. I hope y'all understand. This is, I'm telling you because I already know. Life is wonderful. Wonderful. It's filled with wonders. Already there. And you know who and what the greatest wonders are? You. Because you're the one that's making it. Believe it or not. You're the wonders. Nothing's going to exist unless it exists for our specific service. And that's why when you know everybody's doing right and bringing back more right, if you just stumble upon it, you're happy. You know something? Can't even hurt yourself. Fall down in the earth, pretend like it's a sponge, then let you back up. Oh, boy, that's wonderful. Because somebody thought how to do it. Okay, well, I'm going to let y'all go. The time is getting away rather rapidly. To give you enough time for the secretary to come up and speak to you. And I think Mrs. Allah want to come up and read the... How many heard the letter that was written to me yesterday? Do y'all want to hear it again? Are you ready? All right, well, I'm speaking in... let me tell you what happened. You all heard of the Black Panthers, right? Last night, or yesterday evening up into the night, 3 chapters of them came to our diner in Cincinnati. And they were amazed. They loved it. And they were talking and talking. They talked with the brothers and whatnot. And they was astounded at the service, and the food was just ever so scrumptious. They just loved it. And they say from now on, that's where they have their meetings. So I'm going, and I'm supposed to be speaking there the 23rd of this month. And they say they're coming. And Cincinnati, Ohio, where it's a halfway place that we have between headquarters and the place that we call heaven, which is in Kansas. So, you know, we have like a little inn, and it looks like now we're getting ready to get a bigger place. So when you come on the bus or the people come, they can stay over, get up and go the next day on our transportation, or even with your own transportation. However, we're becoming more and more known by the people that's coming in, because even white folks, they are never insulted. A white couple came in week before last, and they sat and ate, and then they called, I think it was Brother Minister Giannis over, and they said, you know, we've never been to a restaurant like this. He said, well, what do you mean? He said, I can see everything was done here by detail. even when you turn the salt shakers up, it's got a sponge on the bottom. So when you place it down, you can't hear it. White folks noticed it. But you know what makes me happier? My wife did it. You see? So they didn't get ahead of her. She'd already did it before they came in. They recognized it. You see? You see what I'm saying? Well, I better leave. I keep saying too much. Come on up, baby. Oh, was I supposed to say something else? I'm missing something here. Well, I'm God. Salam alaikum.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Praises are all praises.